the festive Halloween pumpkins there. I won't stand here and pretend that any of this is going to be easy, especially now. George Bush has dug a deep hole. He's trying to hand off that shovel to John McCain. The cost of this crisis, the cost of the war in Iraq, means that Washington's going to have to tighten its belt. It's going to have to put off spending on some things we don't need. You know, one of the things that we've seen over the last 8 years is this incredible spending binge, this irresponsibility that you guys are expected to pay back. Mounting national debt, mounting deficits, and you don't have anything to show for it. So as president, I'm going to go through the federal budget line by line, ending programs we don't need, making the ones we do need work better and cost less. We've got to make sure that we are not charging a credit card to the next generation, borrowing from China just to pay off our dependence on foreign oil. But as I've said from the day we began this journey, the change we need isn't just about new programs and new policies, it's also about a new attitude, a new politics, a politics that calls on our better angels instead of encouraging our worst instincts. Now that's what we've lost these last 8 years. It can't be measured just by lost wages or bigger trade deficits or number of foreclosures. What's been lost is the idea that in this American story, each of us have a role to play. I look at all these young people here tonight. Each of you has a responsibility to work hard and look after yourselves and eventually your families. But each of you also have a responsibility to your country, a duty to your fellow citizens. That's what we need to restore right now, our sense of common purpose, our sense of higher purpose. You know, government has to lead the way on energy independence, but all of you can make a difference in how you live your lives to make sure we're more energy efficient. You know, we can put more money in the schools, but government can't be the parent who turns off the TV set and makes a child do their homework at night. That's a parent's job. We can argue and debate our positions passionately, but all of us have to summon a restored strength and grace, a civility to bridge our differences and unite in common effort. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, Democrat, Republican, young, old, rich, poor, gay, straight, disabled, not disabled. All of us coming together. All of us around common effort. At this time, at this moment, we can't afford the same old political games, the same nasty ads, the same underhanded tactics that are used to pit us against one another, make us afraid of one another. Despite what our opponents claim, there are no real or fake parts of this country. There's no city or town that's more pro-America than anywhere else. We're one nation. All of us are proud. All of us are patriots. The men and women who serve on our battlefields, they may be Democrats and Republicans and independents, but they've all fought together and bled together. Some died together under the same proud flag. They haven't served a red America or a blue America. They serve the United States of America. And this change I'm talking about won't be easy, and it won't be quick. But you and I know it's time. I look at this younger generation, you especially know that it's time. You can remake the world. You imagine not what is, but what might be. Right. And for those a little older like me, some of you may be cynical and fed up with politics, and you have every right to be. But despite all of this, I ask of you what's been asked of Americans throughout our history. I ask you to believe, not just in my ability to bring about change, but in yours. I know this change is possible. I've seen it over the last 21 months. In this campaign, I've had the privilege to witness what is best in America. I've seen it in the lines of voters that stretch around schools and churches, in the young people who cast their ballot for the very first time, the young, but the not so young, the young at heart, who got involved again after a very long time. I've seen it in the workers who would rather cut back their hours in the factory than see their friends lose their jobs. In the neighbors who take a stranger in when the floodwaters rise. in the soldiers who re-enlist after losing a limb.
Veterans for Obama!
I've seen it in the faces of men and women in all the rallies and town halls across the country that we've had. Men and women who speak of their struggles, but also their hopes and their dreams. If we're willing to reach deep down inside ourselves, when we're tired, when we're discouraged, and come back fighting hard. That's what kept some of our parents and grandparents going through tough times. That's what led some of them to say, maybe I can't go to college, but if I save a little bit each week, each month, maybe my child can go to college. Maybe I can't have a business of my own, but if I save and work hard, maybe my child or grandchild can have a business of their own. It's what led immigrants from distant lands to settle on these shores. What led those who couldn't vote to march and organize and stand for freedom. To let out a cry that says, it may look dark tonight, but if I hold up people who couldn't vote, but imagine maybe there's somebody run for the presidency of the United States of America. That's what this election's about. That's the choice we face right now. Don't believe for a second this election's over. Don't think for a minute that power concedes anything. It's going to get nasty, I'm sure, in the next 4 days. They will throw everything at us like they've been doing. And we are going to have to work like our future depends on it in this last week. You know what? Because it does. And all those young people who are here tonight, I've got to have every single one of you voting, and you got to grab 5 more. History. I know this, Missouri. You know this. The time for change has come. And if in this last week you will knock on some doors for me and make some calls for me